This week's episode of the Modern Dealer Podcast is brought to you by 360 Booth, the world's most sold vehicle photo studio. For more information, go to 360booth.com. On this week's episode of the Modern Dealer Podcast, David and I are talking about our trip to Las Vegas for NADA 2020, Laughing Man Coffee, our MDP mobile studio, and Facebook's Automobile Playbook for dealers. All that and more on this week's episode of the Modern Dealer Podcast. Welcome in to episode 034 of the Modern Dealer Podcast. My name is David Farmer with Entice, and with me, as always, is David Bertoncini. I love that. It's so fun.
He's like saying my name. I'm like liquid. Like I feel like I'm like somebody stuck me in the microwave, and I'm just like, man, I'm drained.
Yeah.
I'm here, but I'm drained.
You're mentally drained.
I'm mentally drained. I'm re-energized. When I get on a Modern Dealer Podcast, you could be having just kind of a rough day. You can have whatever. You get here, it's a different environment. We put our minds to work, and we're like, you know, let's bring something enjoyable to our audience. It feels good to kick into creativity and, you know, just rock and roll. But, you know, we're sluggish, both of us, I think, from getting back from lost wages out there in Las Vegas, NADA.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I think my energy level was a little depleted, but I'm back.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you know, like we discussed, we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it, but I went out on a Friday, came back on Sunday. So, and the flights that I ended up getting was not a straight through flight, so I had to stop over in Phoenix.
Right.
So Friday, I think I left at 5:30, and then I got in fairly
in the afternoon.
Yeah, 5:30 in the afternoon here from Tampa. You know, I picked up 3 hours, but with the layover and everything, I ended up, getting into Las Vegas pretty late. And then Saturday, we did our balls to the wall, 10 interviews, whatever it was, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But then Sunday morning, I had an 8 o'clock flight from Vegas back here. So I left. So that means I had to get to the airport at 7, right? So I had to get up at 5:30 or 6 or whatever. I didn't sleep all that well, so I was pretty drained. But and then I got back here at 5:30 in the evening. So I left at 5:30 Friday. We did all our shit that we did in Vegas. I got back here Sunday at 5:30. So within a 48-hour period, you know, out, did all we did, and then come back. And yeah, it took me a day. It's like, whoa, what time is it? What's going on? Even because it really fucks up your schedule, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you really got fucked up because you did a red eye coming back.
Yeah. So I jumped on a plane on Thursday morning, you know, early. Got to Vegas, a straight flight. I did a direct flight, so it was Tampa to Las Vegas, courtesy of not the proudest airline, but hey, I got there fast. It was Frontier. If you haven't flown with those guys, their seats don't recline, so you're like this kind of.
On a red eye, that would kill me.
Yeah, well, actually, and it was the return flight. It was the same airline, so it was that position for the evening flight back. But flew out at 7, got to Vegas at 8:58 a.m. So leave 7 a.m. to get there 8:58 a.m. Of course, you picked up 3 hours heading that direction, and then just an exhausting long day in Vegas, setting up, getting ready for NADA.
Yep.
Balls to the wall, like you said, on Saturday. And then Saturday night, just went straight from the NADA with luggage, went right to the airport. And jumped on the red eye, which left at like 9:45. Arrived Tampa 4:58 a.m.
Wow.
And then I was like, it was long, draining days. But you know, the good stuff is we specifically went out there for our audience to get content, man, to pick up some pretty badass, some good stuff. Got a lot of people to thank for that too.
We do. You know, we got. So the way that we set it up, we talked about having a mobile MDP studios out there. It was actually pretty cool. I ended up using. I bought these little MV88 Shure microphone pack. I'll put a little image up here because it gives you a little tripod and it gives you a little iPhone holder, and then you plug the microphone right on top of it, and they're a heavy little microphone. I mean, very professional quality. It's a USB style of microphone, but I think that the quality of the audio that we're going to get is going to be pretty strong. And that's really the big problem with creating good content on an iPhone is the audio, because visually, I mean, you got 4K video. If you have the 11 Pro Max, you got 3 different cameras. So, I mean, the video quality is fantastic. It's the audio, which is really is not good. So,
right, but I think with the microphone that's built into the phone, it sucks. But you had an external microphone, which does way better. That I do believe that's going to perform very well. We'll find out when we make it to Final Cut Pro and see how that audio came across. It was a pro setup. Yeah. And the cool thing is the way we did the podcast was totally carpool karaoke style. We did it so different. So when our guests showed up, it's like, okay, so how we're going to do this, if you've been watching the show, we're in a cool studio, sitting, kicking back. The way we're going to do this, we're at NADA, we're in Photo Booth 360. We're going to do it from inside the Chevy Silverado with like 3 cameras on the dash and on the pillars and just pointing in our faces, and everybody we interviewed is like, this is the coolest thing, this is the coolest interview I've ever done.
It was really cool. So we're inside inside a 2020 Badlander, fully decked out, 4-wheel drive, lifted. I mean, just a really cool truck.
We got some
nice
pictures.
Bright red. Inside the photo booth, booth 360 at the NADA Central Hall. And like you said, carpool karaoke, 3 different camera angles, 2 different microphones picking up. Really excited and really jacked up to be able to get into Final Cut Pro and see what kind of footage we got. And I've not even looked at it yet, because I just want to be, when I look at it, I want to be able to dive in and edit it out,
dissect it all. Yeah. Because you've got 3 cameras to dissect from, in addition to 2 different audios.
Yeah, 2 different audios.
Yeah, on those,
just like we have here with the 2, the 2.
Just like that. But the to all those that we interviewed and everything, it will be we'll drip it out there.
Yeah, we're going to do individual segments. So we'll drop them all on the Modern Dealer Podcast YouTube channel. So. This might be a good time to go ahead and let our viewers know.
It's the best time for if you're new to the Modern Dealer Podcast and you're just checking us out and you stumbled across us for the first time. Be sure to turn on, please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications.
Ding.
on YouTube. Why is that so funny for us?
I don't know.
We're just like, dang, it's hilarious.
I think you said it the first time. I don't know what episode it was. And you said subscribe and then turn on notifications. And then you got to hit the bell. And it was like ding. And then it's turned into a thing.
Yeah, it became part of our mantra.
Now I make sure that as soon as I'm pressing down my button, I'm going ding. So anyways, goofy shit.
And find us on iTunes and hit us up if you have any questions or anything like that in the show comments, or you can always reach out to us on our Facebook page and such.
Facebook group.
And one person I do want to thank, of course, I know we got a list of people to thank, is Jay Smith.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, man. He was just, he's there working. He's got people that he's showing the booth to. We're in the vehicle,
and we're just goofing around in the inside of the truck.
Inside the truck.
Yeah.
And he's there working, but I mean, it was, he thought, hey, that was a pretty good idea. Let's do it from inside the truck. And I was like, well, that works out really well.
So big thank you to you, Jay. We really appreciate you allowing the Modern Dealer Podcast to really mess with your day. And I mean, talk about how busy that place was. I mean, people just love that 360 booth, and I mean, for good reason. I mean, it is unbelievable. And if you don't have it, that should be the #1 thing on your list of what you should be implementing from a digital marketing standpoint.
I was talking to a dealer, and he's like, "Well, I've been looking at this thing for a few years," and I'm like,
"Sound
like a customer, like looking at a car." I'm like, "Oh, I've been in the market for 3 years." I'm like, "Do you realize that it costs more now than it did 3 years ago because the demand went up?" He's like, well, yeah. I'm like, you might want to just pull the trigger now and just quit, dragging your feet, because he was just. I'm like, well, what do you? I mean,
it's a $40,000 investment, yes, but I mean, look at all the money that you're investing to get your vehicles out onto the internet, whether it's on your dealership website or you're using third-party services, websites, whether it's AutoTraderCars.com, CarGurus, whatever, and you're presenting your inventory and really having those photos look like shit, or you got those fake weird backgrounds that some of the companies provide. I mean, this is the product that you're selling, and this actually I'm not going to get into a lot, but this is a big part of what we're talking about today in our main topic with the Facebook Automotive Playbook for dealers. Inventory photos is a big piece of that social strategy.
So when you mentioned the companies that put the fake background behind it, it reminds me of like going on a cruise and you have like that backdrop fake background, and you're like, we're on the beach, and like, no, you're not. You're actually on the promenade level taking your picture before dinner. Yeah. But no, the one of the dealers had said. And told Jay that once they had purchased it, I mean, their ROI on it was within months. They got their money back because they could see they were like, we're like last place in CPOs in our district, and they jumped up to number one in a matter of like 4 months because it was just like people could see the vehicle so much better. And I told every customer that talked to me about it, I was like, you got about 7 seconds to impress a customer. The second they click on your VDP and they're looking at it, if the pictures are not just bright and beautiful and really clear, they're just going to be like, nah.
And you have to realize too, I mean, how important that photo is, not just on your dealership website for customers that are searching out those types of vehicles, but how a customer is going to see it on Facebook. And you probably don't even have that 7 seconds as customers are flipping through their news feed.
Yeah, maybe 3. Yeah, not even. Yeah, about 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very short period of time.
Yep. So in addition to thanking Jay, we do want to take a quick moment and thank individually everybody that decided to participate in the Modern Dealer podcast. Terry O'Laughlin, and he had somebody else with him, and I forgot his name, and I didn't jot down his name, but look for that in his segment for the Modern Dealer podcast. We really appreciate that. I think that was super cool.
Yep. Phil Shore had James with him. Those two gentlemen had came. They were actually our first interview and kicking off the day right before the expo hall had opened. So Jay actually helped him out and got him a vendor pass to kind of get him in a little bit sooner. Yeah, because he was there at like 7:30, 7:45, and Jay's like hooked him up. So appreciate that on that.
Yeah, and he spoke with Google and Facebook at the main stage in the lobby area, and I've not had an opportunity to see that yet. But I'm interested in seeing what he was talking about with Google and Facebook in regards to video.
The Michelle Schuster was actually Adam from that law firm had came out. Adam was awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have Adam on a few more times because he his group already reached out to us and asked about when that's going to be up. And Adam will get up as quickly as we can. Yep. But we will have you. We're talking maybe quarterly.
Well, what's really cool too is that one of the great things about being able to do this Modern Dealer podcast is that we get the opportunity to talk to people like Adam, which we normally wouldn't. I mean, to speak to an attorney in the automotive field, especially a young attorney, which is really cool.
And we weren't billed for it neither.
No. Good point.
Good point. So we're going to be hourly billing here, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're on our show. But no, he totally really, really good firm, and he I can't wait to tell his story.
Passionate about this business.
He loves the automobile industry.
Then we had a couple guys. We actually didn't speak with these guys until 4:30 or 5, but Mike Davis and Alan from the Appraisal Grid. That was very cool. A group, a dealer group in Canada, and a technology provider now, talking about their new tool, the Appraisal Grid, which he actually reached out to us from our episode 028 about online appraisals, which is one of our most popular episodes.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked that out, 028, a very good episode about online appraisals and really creating an opportunity to get that unfair advantage over your competition.
And then moving down the way there, Rachel Lyles from our consulting, and she I can't wait for her episode to come out there because she is the queen of F-bombs. Her origin story is the best, so we'll save that for the actual episode.
Yeah. And then Mason Miller as well.
Yeah. Mason Miller's in there. Oops, I saw that off to the side. Mason was, he was awesome. He's local.
Marketing, from Orlando. We're going to have to get him into the Modern Dealer podcast studio for a full episode with him. And then we moved on to Brianna. Bree.
Bree was she was awesome. She was in the HR department. And she's from London in Canada. Ontario. And she was pretty awesome. Kelly Hughes. Really insightful. Just like She was a hoot. She was
yeah,
fun,
she
man.
was. Yeah.
Another attorney,
yep.
which we're looking forward to actually revisiting with in the future, and she definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, and hopefully we're bringing and delivering content to the Modern Dealer Podcast listeners to really kind of open your eyes a little bit about the different perspectives of automotive and other things that you're dealing with on a daily basis, but giving you different perspectives of how to handle different things, from HR to documentation to all sorts of different things. And then we moved into Paul Caldwell, a good friend of ours from Caldwell Kerr Advertising. Great guy. Had a super good conversation with him. He's recently become a dealer himself.
He said he went backwards. He went from vendor to dealer.
Yeah, because most people go from working in a dealership or being a dealer and then becoming a vendor.
Yeah.
He took the opposite path.
And then. And of course, I messed up Katie's name when I was
we had this
embarrassed.
whole conversation before. Let's make sure we're getting your the pronunciation of your name correctly, because it looks like it's Katie Mayers, and she goes, no, it's not Katie Mayers, it's Katie Mares.
And I still can't say it right. I'm sorry, Katie. Please, and she had one of the most moving origin stories ever, and we're going to save that for the episode. And she is definitely a lady boss, and she's created an entire movement, and I'm really excited about getting to delivering
and her
that
book should
episode.
Be coming out soon.
Her book will be out, I do believe September, I think it was, and she's just, Katie,
super cool,
awesome, so proud of you. I texted her and just said how proud I was and inspired that.
Yeah.
We got to have some time with her. So, what else we got there? Oh,
we're already 18 minutes into the first segment. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Right. What are we drinking, boss?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. So I'm doing something a little bit different. I figured that I do love coffee, and really, since if we didn't know, it is one of my favorite things. But I really been really just kind of in a rut. Every single episode, I'm drinking Starbucks, a few different kinds, with the dark roast or the Pike Place. So I decided to maybe just expand my horizons for coffee and try different things, and then talk about it. So I thought this would be a good thing. Coffee of the day today is Laughing Man Coffee, Colombia. It looks like it's pronounced Julia, but it's actually Huila. So this is in Spanish. It's a Colombian location. Nice. I did look it up as Huila. And Hugh Jackman, if you're not familiar, Wolverine from the X-Men. He traveled to Ethiopia to visit a community development project and met a young coffee farmer named whatever his name is,
Duquesne,
yeah, something like that. And he saw an opportunity where he could help Ethiopian coffee farmers, and he teamed up with the Fair Trade organization and opened up a coffee shop and ultimately a coffee producer. And all of the funds that he makes from his Laughing Man coffee go into the Laughing Man Foundation, which is partnered with Fair Trade to reinvest in housing improvements and college sponsorship. So really cool backstory, origin story for the Wolverine from Laughing Man Coffee, and it's quite good. It's a dark roast coffee from this one is from Colombia, but he has all sorts of different kinds. So
they're in the little K pods there,
and it's a little the Keurig cups, the
little K cups.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I still went to Cala, but I did the nitro because it's hot out, man. Today's 80 degrees.
It is hot. I
can't believe it's February and it's 80 degrees.
Yeah, it's like the middle of winter right now, if you think about it, because it's late December, and then it's 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah. So because spring's.
We're about halfway in, a little past halfway through.
A little past halfway through, and then it's hitting 80 today. So that's a hot one. So.
Yeah. So I tell you what, it is 21 minutes into the first segment. We're going to go ahead and get this wrapped up, but don't go away. We're going to be getting into our main topic, which is going to be the Facebook Automotive Playbook for dealers that was just released. A lot of good information. We're going to do a little bit of backstory and then get into their 4 strategies of how you can use Facebook to sell and service more cars. So with that, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up, and we'll move into the next segment segment when we come back.
Buying a car should be easy. Say hello to Shopper Express, the way car buying should be. With Shopper Express, once you find your car, you can get our best price up front with no hassles. You can personalize your individual payment by selecting from financing or leasing options. Select your desired finance or lease term, adjust your down payment, even research all the available offers, rebates, and incentives, and then apply them to your deal. You can get a personalized trade-in value from Kelley Blue Book instantly. And in just minutes, you can get an express cash offer for your trade-in that's good for 7 days. Plus, research and select available protection plans. You can apply for financing and even get your credit score without your social security number. Configure your entire purchase transaction from anywhere in just minutes. Schedule an express delivery, so when you're ready to buy, you can be in and out in an hour or less, or request to have your next car delivered to you. Enjoy a better way to buy a car with Shopper Express.
All right, welcome back into episode 034 of the Modern Dealer Podcast. One thing that we did not do in the first segment is do the MDP sock cam, right?
You know, what's funny is one of our guests had watched the episode there, and was it Adam or was it Mason? I think it was Adam that actually, Adam had actually said, "Hey, I got my sock game going on."
Exactly.
I was like, bro, you've been watching the show, man. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
So a little shout out to him. But today, I would just quickly grab some random socks, and the random socks I actually grabbed. So you have to look at them. It looks like 7s, but they're actually L's for Litecoin, which is a cryptocurrency. Which on the side, I moonlight cryptocurrency just because it's something just kind of neat to watch and everything like that. And I opened up and looked at the episode right before we started the episode, and Bitcoin today is over $10,000.
Wow.
Litecoin's like at $77 because it seems to have like a light value to it, but all of them have different purposes and everything. But one day we'll probably fast forward within maybe less than 10 years or so. Well,
10 years ago, what was Bitcoin?
It was born. It was 09. It was
09?
January 3rd, 2009.
And what was the value of a Bitcoin? Let's say
fractions of a penny.
Fractions
of a penny, and it was worth nothing. And then I remember this one guy. I mentioned in an episode he bought. He had a pizza delivered, like 2 pizzas delivered, paid with Bitcoin. I think he paid like 10,000 Bitcoin. Now today, a Bitcoin, Bitcoin is worth 10,000.
Yeah, so that's $1 million.
Like $10 million.
8 million or 10 million? 10,000 times 10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably
right.
We can't math.
100 million. I'm sorry, that's a $100 million pizza.
All right, man, oh man.
Delicious.
You know what's funny too is I remember back on one of our Facebook episodes, one of our first Facebook episodes, we were going to talk about the Libra coin.
Yeah.
But we never got into it because we lost track of time. But that's kind of a good segue into what we're talking about today with Facebook. Now they did release the Libra coin. Is that correct?
Having some hiccups.
Are they?
Little stalls. Yeah.
Okay.
A couple people got some cold feet, but it's still on the table.
Okay.
But you still have major money tied into it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So something will happen here soon.
Okay.
I think just a lot of regulations got to lighten up some. So when that happens.
All right, cool. So let's see here. Our main topic today is the Facebook Automotive Playbook by dealers. I thought this was very cool that they finally released kind of exactly what it is. It's a playbook, right? Mm-hmm. So let me go ahead and just get this opened up real quick. I mean, it might just take me a second to go back in my mail. I should have had this up already, but I'm going to go ahead and pull up the playbook itself because I'm going to read just the opening statement, the opening note. From the director of automotive retail for Facebook, because this kind of gives a good idea. So this is from Bob Lanham. maybe is how you pronounce it, Lanham, head of automotive retail for Facebook. He says that he wanted to first thank everybody for taking the time to read this note and, more importantly, this playbook. He says that we created this playbook to answer the number one question we've been asked after nearly 500 dealer-related presentations. And the question is, how to do everything that you just presented. 4 strategies outlined in this playbook are time-tested, robust techniques that auto dealers have been using for years. Many dealers just didn't know how they could do it on Facebook. So this really is a step-by-step guide that'll show dealers how to execute these proven strategies to grow your dealership's brand, drive sales and repair orders, and most importantly, measure true profitability and not just proxies. And you can kind of get into a little bit more information around what he means specifically in this document. We're going to include a link to this document in the show notes just underneath in the comments for this episode.
The good news is our episode is streamlined from the 41 pages that the doc is.
Yeah.
We're going to give you the cliff notes on it today and just give you the Reader's Digest version of it.
Yeah.
And condense it and make it quick and digestible, because you may be consuming us at the gym or on the road. So we want to make sure we deliver tons of value to you.
Exactly. And we want to just kind of make you aware of this because, this isn't something that I haven't seen anywhere. I heard that they released this, and I also heard that Google released another Google Playbook, and I'm interested in seeing that. I got a copy of what I think it is earlier today from our contacts at Google.
Yeah, I think our Mason had mentioned with that the playbook had came out, and he says, that playbook just came out. So we actually had heard it from one of our guests.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, hey.
Yeah, so this is really cool. And what I wanted to do, like you said, David, is to kind of give a high level overview of this instead of just going through it, because you can pick it up, you can read it, and you can digest as little or as much as you would like from this document. But so what I did is I went through the whole thing. I read the whole thing, and I just highlighted some key areas what I thought would be important. And the first thing, if you're with me on page number 5, so this is kind of some statistics with over 1.66 billion daily global visitors to Facebook. It is a platform that you really cannot ignore. So if you're not doing anything on Facebook right now, shame on you. You really need to be, right?
If you're not, you're fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to that, right?
Really, I mean, let's just call it out, because if you're not at least having your inventory on there, if you don't have advertisements running through there, what are we doing?
Yeah, and we're in this document with like I said, there's 4 proven strategies, and so if you're not on Facebook right now and you're considering getting on Facebook, we're going to tell you exactly the areas that you want to be able to use it, and I think it's really is a good guidebook to make it easily understandable of how you should be using Facebook. Now, the reason that you should be using Facebook is 80% of recent vehicle buyers surveyed visited a Facebook property. So, so this is based on the study that they did here. 80% of recent vehicle buyers, they're on Facebook. We know this to be true. I mean, it's not magic, right?
And when they refer to Facebook property, that also includes Instagram
yep.
or WhatsApp.
Yep. WhatsApp.
The app. WhatsApp, sorry.
Yep.
I said what's up. WhatsApp. Sorry, I'm not a frequent user of it. WhatsApp.
And 64% of millennials surveyed in the U.S. learn about new car model launches on Facebook. So this becomes their first point of contact when they're learning about different new models that are out.
Over half, at 56% of auto internet shoppers surveyed, use their mobile device to shop for vehicles. So that's a lot of people sitting on the toilet looking at cars.
Yeah, absolutely. it's the truth, right? And also when a customer is in the Publix line, they're at the grocery store and they're waiting, they're in their phone. If they're at a stoplight and they're driving, where's their face go? Right into their phone. So it's like every micro moment that they have, they're putting their face face into Facebook.
81% of U.S. auto consumers surveyed would like to receive personalized engagement on their smartphone from the auto brand. So if the dealer was messaging them, of course, that's at the dealer level. The brand's not going to message them unless it was Cadillac Live, like in a Cadillac episode. Do a lot of them do now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go to Toyota.com, Cadillac.com. You can register for information.
Okay.
They're going to have their pages. They're going to be communicating with them as well as dealers. So that's kind of the why you should be. Facebook is something that regardless of what the generation is, whether it's Gen X like ours, our generation, or the generation prior to us, the baby boomers, and the millennials and Generation X. Facebook might be skewing a little bit older now versus Gen Z, but they're still there. They're still on there.
Mm-hmm.
So. Moving into this document itself, so the way that they have it structured is they give you some background information about why you should be considering using Facebook and why it should be part of your advertising platform. But then it kind of goes into some of the specifics. So the before we begin section, they give you a little bit of background information from the Facebook page itself, which everybody really knows what that is, and to 5 or 6 other key areas within the platform. The first being the Facebook Business Manager. So the Facebook Business Manager allows advertisers to securely share assets and information among multiple people or teams. You can give user access to people within your business and set different access levels across your marketing team. So the reason I thought this was important to share is if you're doing Facebook advertising, you might just sub that out to your advertising agency and be done with it, or it might be something that you're doing in-house. Mm-hmm. Either way, I think it'd be important for you, Modern Dealer Podcast listener, to understand the structure of the way Facebook works from an advertiser's standpoint. So the first thing is you have to have a Facebook page. The second thing is you're going to have a Facebook Manager account. That kind of gives you access to the back end. It kind of brings me up. We were talking the other day. Is like somebody watches our episode and says, "I still don't know what the fuck you're talking about." So I'm going to try to make sure that that I'm sharing some actionable pieces of information. So that's why we have this information. So now you know what the fuck a business manager is in Facebook, right?
Yep. So level of access to who you're giving access to.
Yep.
So.
Now moving on, so tell me a little bit about what the Ads Manager is.
So Ads Manager is your starting point for running ads on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, or Audience Network. It's an all-in-one tool to create ads, manage and when they're run on and track your campaign performance. So basically that's just where you build all the advertisements at. So your advertiser would build those ads in Ads Manager. I see a lot of stores which say, well, Facebook doesn't work for me. And I was like, well, what did you do? And they're like,
what are you doing? What strategy are you taking?
Not Ads Manager. What they're doing is they're creating a post and they hit boost. And then they're just like, I boosted the post. Or should I get results? I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's not really utilizing Facebook as an advertising platform. Boosting posts isn't a bad idea. I think it would be a good part of a strategy, but it's not the way to use the platform.
And then, of course, some people don't even look at the targeting of that boosted post was, and they're like, I've covered everybody in the U.S. I'm like, no, PMA, 15 miles, please. Yep. Try to keep it small.
Yeah, and 15 miles is what they recommend.
Yeah, I think that is the first ring of, it's like the smallest you can go is 15 miles, so that should cover everything there in the PMA. So what we got next?
So the next piece is the Facebook Pixel. Facebook Pixel allows you to show automotive inventory ads to people who visited your website. In order to do this, you will need to implement the Facebook Pixel on your website. This lets Facebook know who to deliver your ads to based on the action they've taken, like viewing a specific car or entering payment information. With this data, automotive inventory ads will be able to recommend relevant inventory to potential customers who have high probability to buy. I thought this would be a good idea. Let's take a step back and let's go into this idea of what a pixel is. So, for example, a pixel, when you go out and buy a phone, maybe they'll tell you, how many pixels are on your phone. Or we talked about before, like about megapixels with cameras, right? On how many pixels across and down. And that's really what a pixel is. So why do they call a Facebook, a little snippet of code, a pixel? Well, this kind of goes back to, years back in how the internet allowed you to track different activity on a web page. You would actually take a pixel, and they say a pixel because it'd be a 1-by-1 image, and they would actually place that image, just being a pixel, a small tiny image, and every time that pixel would load on a website, it would send the information back to the server where that pixel was housed, and then if you had the right type of software on the back end, you'd be able to collect that information every time that pixel loaded. So that's kind of so that's why the Facebook pixel isn't really a image. It is actually a little snippet of code, but that's why we call it pixel. So adding the Facebook script to your dealership's website allows Facebook to collect that data every time that the page loads, and they can collect the information such as who's on the website, what images that they're looking at, what vehicles that they're looking at, and then from that, they're going to be able to determine the next time a customer goes to Facebook, is this a customer that visited your website, and what vehicles did they research and look at on your site, so they can make sure that they're showing the customer the right inventory ads. So
what's the difference between this is probably a question that comes up because it comes up with me quite often.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a UTM code and a pixel?
Okay, so what a UTM code is a specific, the way a UTM code works is you use that to append on your URL of a landing page. And that UTM data that you add in there is going to give information specifically to Google Analytics. Okay. So if you're doing, let's say, a Facebook ad, and you want that customer to click that ad or click a button and go to your dealership's website. So when you're building your ad, when you put the URL that the customer you want to go to, you can add a little question mark and then some UTM perimeters such as Facebook, what the campaign name is, and any other data you want to track in your Google Analytics. Every time somebody clicks that button, you're going to be able to track that back into Google Analytics, and then you're going to be able to see the success,
of your Facebook campaign.
Of your Facebook campaigns. Okay. So
then you'd want to get a UTM code then for your Facebook page. Then.
Exactly. Okay. Yes. Yeah, and you can just do a quick Google search for UTM codes, and then you'll find a UTM code builder. A very simple thing. You just put the landing page URL you want in there, and then some of the different perimeters such as a display ad, a campaign, Facebook, and then that's the data that you're going to be able to reveal inside of Google Analytics.
Boom. I like it.
So that is a little bit of background on the Facebook Pixel. And now let's move into
vehicle categories. File that contains vehicle inventory data and images, vehicle catalog. A catalog contains product information for inventory that you'd like to advertise. That's Facebook, recommends that you advertise your complete inventory. But if you like to limit the items that will appear in your ads, you can so by using vehicle sets. For example, you can create a vehicle catalog that contains your complete inventory and then create a vehicle set to advertise only trucks and others, and another to advertise only your vans. So you can kind of specify exactly what you want to show in your vehicle catalog. Definitely, I would suggest putting your entire inventory on there because you just don't know if what somebody, you could specify it that way, but I would say if I was running a store, I'd just want my entire inventory on there. The sets are nice that you could divide it up that way, but I think it may be too many buttons for a customer, and you start to have click here for truck. I don't know.
And really, one way to think about what a vehicle catalog is, it is your inventory in Facebook. So you're getting a data feed with all the vehicle information, including URLs for the images. Just like the feed that you're giving to AutoTrader or Cars.com, you create that feed into Facebook. And then when it goes into Facebook, it goes into that vehicle catalog, which you can then use to drive the vehicle inventory ads. And believe it or not, we're already 18 minutes into the second segment. So we're going to try to keep our pace up a little bit. So we're going to move right into offline events. Measure sales directly and determine the impact of your campaigns using Offline Events Manager. We know that it is important for you to align your advertising efforts with your sales objectives, regardless of clicks, leads. Facebook can tell you how many people saw your ads, how many of those people visited your dealership, and of those, how many purchased a vehicle or executed a repair order. That is whether a customer clicked on that ad or did not click on that ad. So the offline events that you can track in Facebook is absolutely fantastic. Think about it this way. Google knows every user that's on Facebook. It's not anonymized. They know who it is, who's logged in, and who that person is. When you target an advertisement you're going to be targeting individual people. So they know who saw the ad, who clicked on the ad, and then at the end of the month, you can take all your sales data in a file, upload it into Facebook, and they're going to do a matchback report and say, you sold 100 cars. We can match these 100 cars to everybody that's on Facebook, and maybe you get like a 95 to 98% match, and they'll be able to say, well, out of those 100 sales, 40 of them we actually showed ads to. So that's pretty cool from an offline attribution standpoint, which brings us to the last part that we want to cover, which is Facebook attribution.
So gain more visibility over how ads are driving business Facebook attribution. Traditional marketing attribution tools rely on cookies and last click attribution. So they may not be giving you accurate picture of which of your ads are driving business outcomes. Facebook attribution is an advertising measurement tool designed to give you more visibility over your customer journey so you can make smarter business decisions.
Yeah, so Facebook attribution, really, they've done such a good job over the last 4 or 5 years in really creating, I think, the marquee online attribution tool. You can actually tie in your Google AdWords and display ads and YouTube through this tool. A lot of advanced features that are available, but also just kind of out of the box, it becomes a great a reporting technology. So that kind of brings us to the end of the background information. Mm-hmm. So Facebook pages, you know what that is. Business Manager, now you know what that is. The Ads Manager, that's when you're actually going in and building the ads. That's the tools that's available. The Facebook Pixel is a snippet of code that goes on your website that's going to tell Facebook information about customers. Then you have the Vehicle Catalog, which is your inventory in the Facebook system. And then offline events, where you're able to track things that happen off of Facebook and attribute it to Facebook online activities through Facebook attribution. So now that you have kind of a good background of the Facebook platform, let's talk about how you can actually use Facebook and a strategy that you can use Facebook to advertise to Facebook users.
So every dealer has that I've ever spoken with, and I always ask them, what is your why buy here story? And they're like, oh, we have the biggest selection, we have the lowest prices, blah, 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 blah. bullshit. Everybody says the same thing. Yep. Realistically, using Facebook for your brand story, your USP, your unique selling proposition, so it makes you a little more unique. I used to always say, and I just said this in episodes before, we had this shoe warehouse across the street from Sutherland Toyota back in the day, and I'm like, well, Mr. Customer, if you come here now, the shoe warehouse is open only on Saturdays, so this is the best day for you to come. Something silly like that, but real. Then also, it talked about in the playbook about using real people. Quit. And I'm going to say this with the most passion I can possibly say in the condition I am, a little bit exhausted. Quit fucking using stock photos. They suck. Nobody engages with that bullshit. Yeah. Stop. I mean, take pictures of your people. Yeah. Your people is your unique selling proposition and is your story of your own dealership.
Yeah. Yeah. So the four awesome stuff. Yes, you're exactly right. So the 4 key strategies that they're recommending in this Facebook guidebook starts with the why buy here story. So this is one way that you can use Facebook to engage with Facebook users, and then how you can what you should be doing in that why buy here strategy is telling your brand story, utilizing a unique selling proposition. Another really good unique selling proposition is, do you offer anything that is unique to your dealership, like a lifetime warranty or a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty?
That's a Pizza Hut inside the dealership with massages.
Massages. These are all unique selling propositions, right?
Get your nails done in there. So, man, they're Toyota Hollywood, fancy.
Yeah.
Those guys are way... Wow, I'm blown away.
Yeah. So this is something that you can communicate that, and I love the idea of using real people. So using your salespeople, using your sales managers, using your techs, so they can really start to connect with the individual people at your business, which really is something that is going to be unique to your dealership. So that's what you can do in the why buy here. You can advertise that, and inside the document, it's going to show you what types of ads that you want to use for the why buy here ads. You have the gallery ads, you have different image ads. There's different types of ads that you can use. So you think about those types of ads you're seeing on Facebook right now. That's what you want to. That's what you want to use: the brand story, unique selling proposition, and use your people. And then the second strategy you want to use for Facebook advertising is to advertise to the ready-to-buy customers. And that's when you're going to use inventory ads. This is going to be a little bit different than the marketplace, which is more like almost like an Auto Trader or a Craigslist, where people are listing different items. This is actually inventory ads. This is where we're going to use that vehicle or the catalog, the vehicle catalog. We're going to connect that to inventory ads, and there's different types of inventory ads where you can use a carousel of individual of one vehicle with multiple different images. But there's 4 or 5 different types of inventory ads that you can use. You connect it to the Facebook pixel, so Facebook will know what type of vehicles to show to customers. Very cool technology.
The customers for the third parties of customers for life, service specials, why service here, real people, accessories and service tips. So putting your people out there, I would always say, and then of course running your specials, your oil change specials and everything like that. Now we're 27 minutes into it. I'm picking up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
Promotions and events, stimulus marketing video, messenger events, and ad specials. So of course you can use different forms of advertising there with the videos, and then the messenger events and ad specials and everything. So what do we got there?
4 key areas that you can advertise. Use Facebook, great strategy. Why buy here? Ready to buy, customers for life, and then promotions and events. So if you're interested in advertising with Facebook, this is giving you the recipe on how to use their platform to advertise your dealership with all the how-to in the document itself.
I think that's really nice to have it laid out that way, because that makes it really easy for a lot of people.
Yeah. So we only got about like 2 minutes left. So I'm going to do is just a quick overview of the Analytics 2020, and I'm going to just do a 30-second Analytics 2020. So I wanted to talk about store visits in Google Analytics. This is actually still in beta, but inside of Google Analytics, just like Facebook, Google knows when a mobile device moves into your physical location, and they can actually track that down to the individual person. Now, they do it anonymously, so they're not sharing any PII, but inside of Google Analytics, you can actually see how effective your advertisements or your website visitors and how they're coming into your store. So you can say all your search ads, your display ads, anything that's organic, and how many of those visitors from Google to your dealership website actually ultimately get into your dealership showroom. So that's just a brief overview for Google Analytics 2020 about store visits.
Kind of like a little geofencing there, right?
Kind of.
Because it's going off of the ping off of your
location services
on your device. So speaking of location services, I'm going to locate real fast some tips and just I'm going to power through these tips. So we're like, bang, I got 30 seconds. So it's tip number one.
Okay. It's a lightning round.
Yes, I like our lightning round. Ads manager. So don't boost an ad and thinking that's your Facebook advertisement, because realistically, it doesn't really work that way. Number one, so don't just boost an ad hoping that's that's our Facebook ads. Putting a UTM code with your Facebook pixel is a nice power play, a little combination there of a jab, 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 right hook with putting that in there, so you've got more tracking and some more data to follow up with. And upload your entire inventory to Facebook for your Facebook advertisement, so you have everything there, and then of course put those into inventory ads. So, and that's all I've got to say about that. As we got 10 seconds. We got 10 seconds.
We're gonna go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get this wrapped up. We really appreciate you tuning in. So for David and
David,
that's a wrap.
Okay, but it's my face, David.